It seems like a storm, but you're saying that you should have been able to solo carry this because you were having a
I
good
think so,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like my team got shit on, but I was top net worth for like half the game.
Okay. Well, based off of the graph, it doesn't feel like they had a lot of lead. The score says otherwise, but it seems like the lead wasn't that much. It was like around a 20 minute would be around like 4 or 5,000 in my opinion. Then it went down and then went back up. Okay. So yeah, judging from the scoreboard, it says that yeah, my team was feeding, but then not actually the case. So you could carry this definitely. Yeah, let's see. I think it's very good mentality that you're willing to look at these games where because it makes a lot of difference, you know, like you're probably gonna win the
Yeah.
games that where your team plays good, right?
Yeah.
And you wanna just like make sure that you're winning games where your team doesn't play good so that you have a consistent 60% win rate throughout how many other games you play. Playing against Watson, that's
Yeah.
like another thing as well. So
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, right? Like,
yeah, I mean if you're playing against
can you share your
Watson,
screen by the way?
oh yeah, 1 second, my bad. I thought I
Yeah. I mean,
shared. Holy
playing
shit.
against the rank 1 13k MMR,
Yeah, it
it was a
was.
challenge.
Yeah, I mean he's smurfing as well. They fixed it, but this guy can still do it because he's a pro player. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna be laning probably either Abaddon or NP or both,
Yeah.
pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So generally speaking, if you're in a lane where stick isn't that good, that the build that I'm seeing people just go for is like triple gauntlet and quelling. That's what they
Yeah.
buy, so that you have a lot of sustain, as in you will have a lot of HP, and then you'll have a lot of damage, and then you sustain yourself with feast, and then after that it's like,
Yeah.
do I want to get a stick? If yes, I'll get it. Otherwise, it's like depends upon the game, right? Yeah. So if you feel like I'm gonna be in a lane where there will be spell usage, but it won't be that much, then you can just like start with triple gauntlet, no tangos, quelling,
Yeah.
and then just like use that build. That's like better. Otherwise, you just go. Basically, people are not buying tangos on this hero. They're just buying
Yeah.
double gauntlet stick or the triple gauntlet.
Makes sense.
So do try that if you can. And ideally, it's like if you feel like okay that they play higher average games where here's their pos 5 is gonna help them get tangos. Their pos 5 isn't a fucking pudge. I don't know if it pudges the pos 5.
Yeah, bro. Let me explain this to you. We're in draft, and I see I have a Venomancer 5, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll pick Lifestealer. This dude picks Pudge and says, "Can I play Pos 5, please?" And the guy swaps him. I was like, oh my god, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly speaking, it's better if Venom is bot because Abaddon will just debuff his shit and he's
yeah.
useless. So it's better that Venomancer is bottom. And if
I
Pudge
just,
gets a few good hooks in, then it would be nice. What were you saying
I'm
before
just,
that?
I'm a Pudge hater, a Pudge support hater. It's very tilting to play with.
I mean, yeah, but if when you have like good Pudge players in your team, it's actually super good as well.
True, true.
I think of the game in this way, right? It's like okay, ideally speaking, if I see that I have a fucking useless plus 5, right, like a Spirit Breaker or some shit, I generally pick heroes that can just go jungle really quick in case things go bad.
Yeah.
So I feel like Lifestealer is like one of those heroes who can jungle.
Yeah.
It's not
100%.
that fast, but he does it.
You don't
So
die.
yeah, you don't die, which is
One
nice.
level in Feast, you don't die.
Yeah. Okay, so it is Abaddon. Yeah, you aggro backwards. Gotta deny. You'll have to give up this creep, which is fine. Because Pudge is he's literally just AFK. Holy shit.
I know, dude.
Oh! Actually, no, he's not AFK. He was cooking. Holy shit. He fucked up a bit, but that was pretty good.
And then he types luck E in the chat.
I mean, it is kind of. I mean, the quelling bit shit happens to everyone, so. Yeah. The last hitting's fine. Okay, so one thing that you can improve your last hitting is that the way you see that your last hitting is that you're just like waiting for the complete last hit. It's like generally you can set up this creep to be in that last hit range. Like if you hit it once before that, then you'll be able to last hit this. So try to practice that if you can.
Okay.
Like it's really helpful in a lot of cases. Give me 1 second. Okay, I can see better. Yeah. all is fine except that okay, so one thing that I have an issue with here is that you and Pudge need to hit the same guy. It's like if Pudge hooks someone, I just want to go on them as well. Because if I'm like 1v1 against this guy, he's like 1v1 against this, there's no point. But here we could maybe just kill this guy because we have a blood grenade, right? Because I'm also slowing him and we have a level 2 timing, but then Pudge just goes back. So then you take a lot of harass from NP. So the way NP is going to do damage to you is going to be physical, right? Most of it. So just buy a chainmail at the start because you know I'm going to go phase boots. Or if your lane is like super fucking obnoxious where there's like a lot of spell usage, skip the chainmail, just get the Helm of Iron Mail for your armlet so that you have good sustain in the lane. The HP regen is pretty nice. And yeah, there's like a lot of things that you can do. Okay, the shield is actually pretty buffed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're having... It's fine.
I thought our lane was okay.
I mean, there's like a lot of CS being missed for no apparent reason, but yeah. Yeah, are you gonna go for Lotus? Nope. Okay, so this thing I'm discussing a lot in my coaching sessions lately as well is that maybe we did in the last one as well, but Lotus is really, really important in the lane.
Yeah.
Lotus is like, you could say, like, you could think about it like how you would think about Roshan, right? Roshan is a neutral objective. Power runes are a neutral objective. If the enemy gets it, then it's a big problem. If no one gets it, it's fine, right? It's fine for you.
Yeah.
But if the enemy gets it, then you have a disadvantage. Because if they have ages, they have double lives. If they have a power rune, their mid laner can do a lot of shit. And if you have Lotus in the lane, then you can commit a bit more than the enemy does. And then they know that you have a Lotus, so they will be... they will not just go on you without thinking that, yeah, this guy has a fucking Lotus, so we don't want to go on him. And if you have a Lotus, you can be a bit aggressive. So if they have Lotus, it's the exact same opposite thing. It's like, oh, we're going to go on this guy. He can die, but we can't commit. He has a Lotus. So we can maybe get baited in. So ideally, your first 3 minutes of the game, like your plan should be around the Lotus. It's like, okay, I'll just like start pushing the lane in from minute 2 if I can, or like 2:30. My idea is that if the lane is pushed in, like how it was pushed in right now, I can just get the Lotus for free. Otherwise, I can't take it. If the lane is pushed into me, they will just take it. So think about Lotus a lot. I feel like Lotus can just like make or break your lane completely.
Yeah.
I've started implementing this in my own games and it's quite nice actually. Having the Lotus is just like kind of a game changer.
Yeah.
Also, okay. You have Rage. I don't know. I wouldn't probably get it in this lane. It's useless.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like in this lane, Rage doesn't do anything. If I have another point in Feast or like even the Ghoul, I can just like right click this Abaddon a lot more.
Yeah.
So having like, because like Rage is like, oh, I would probably not take Rage at all until probably like level 8 maybe. But it's like, if you look at all of their heroes, they have like no form of catch if you think about it. Nothing that you need Rage for. So you can just like hold the point and it helps a lot in the lane because of that. Okay, this guy goes on him. You guys got a kill. Honestly speaking, this Pudge is doing pretty nice. He's like not completely useless. So keep block this camp and all that shit. Okay. Not aggroing here is a bit of sloppy. So it's like, so till minute 3 we have to push in the lane. After minute 3 till minute 5 we need to bring the lane back, right? So here we can see that we have 2 range creeps and they don't. And they also have a creep which is like low HP. So I want to aggro these 2 creeps onto my range. Mainly because it can work right now because they have a flag bearer creep which has a lot of regen. So their other creeps are also regening. So they won't die that quick. So you can aggro these on the range, get both the range killed. And then drag these backwards again and then bring the lane back without pulling the lane. Because this camp is blocked so it's never going to come back. And if it's never... Because another thing is that Pudge excels based off of positioning, right? So if the lane is like a bit backwards and he gets a hook in, there's almost 100% chance that you're just going to kill the guy. But if he hooks from here, they can just like run back to their tower. But running back from here to here is like very hard. So do keep that in mind. Like the idea is just get your range killed. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like you can't do anything here. So you can just try and deny and stuff, but the problem is that you have 27 CS, but he's also getting a lot. Okay. Yeah, see, like the wave is just like completely stuck here. At this point, it's fine because you want to get the Lotus. But if you're not planning ahead for it, then obviously it's just unintentional. You know the first fucking Lotus who took it? I'm not exactly sure. Probably Pudge did.
I think Abaddon took it.
Okay. Oh, actually, NP has it. So.
Okay.
But yeah, you get the idea. And now Pudge gets it. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, we're hitting this guy, right? Like, if this guy is here, then hitting him is like easier. It's like, I have so much slow, right? I have so much slow and I have so much attack speed. I start hitting him from here, then Pudge can just come in with Rod and we just keep killing this guy continuously because NP is just like not present in this lane. But if the lane is just like pushed in this far in, then we can't do anything. And you could argue that my support is not pulling, but it's just like you're not doing anything to bring the lane back at all. Like, I haven't seen anything related to that at all. Like, even this, at this point, you could do it, but... And now it's just like, the game is just like harder for Pudge to play as well.
Yeah.
And, okay. And you don't want to be here. There's like no point doing this shit. You're going to take a lot of damage on you for no reason, and you only have 1 point in feast, so you're not going to regen up that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see like how much slow you guys have? So I would say Pudge is better than Venom in this lane because of that option. Because shield doesn't do shit for the Rot. But yeah, the problem is now the lane is being pushed. At this point, you just like deward this shit. Nice.
Yeah.
And then you farm here. You're having pretty decent lane. You guys have the lead right now, which is nice. Okay. Pudge is leaving, which is fine. I mean, it's fine for him to leave now because you're just gonna farm.
Yeah.
Lotus again, right? Another Lotus.
Yeah.
So you had like 3 opportunities to get it.
If you're enjoying this coaching session and are interested in watching more of them, I've made a YouTube membership that can be availed for $1.99 a month, where I will be posting coaching sessions daily. 3 videos have already been posted. Go check it out in the description.
Level 9.
Yeah, this Storm just had a really fun game.
Storm had a fun game? Okay, I thought it was Necro. Okay, it was Pugna mid. I mean, regardless, yeah. Necro is like 0-5, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
It's a toughie, but yeah, definitely winnable. Yeah. The farm is good. Okay, at this point, you wanna think about a lot of things. So I
press his ult there. Is that a glitch?
Nah, he actually pressed it.
That's insane.
Okay, so you're like fucking up a bit here. So here essentially it's like I just forced this guy to use ult, right? So he's on the back foot, so I'm now gonna go here. And then after that, I'm just gonna go back in this lane and like pressure the fuck out of this guy. Because he doesn't have ult now, so he's not gonna be able to man fight me. Yeah, there's like a Storm missing, but Storm doesn't have any Orchid or anything, so he can't really do anything to me. I'll just infest the fuck out. But when I go back here, I'm just giving this Abaddon. You see, he's so fucking scared, he's not even gonna go hit the creeps. But you have to take advantage of these things. Like, you just like missed on like kind of 2 waves because of this. It's like you have to understand, okay, so how far can I commit? Like, let's say they went on me. Oh, whatever, who cares? Right?
Yeah. Oh,
you have to
here, actually.
Wait, can you not use items when you're infested?
No, you can't.
Okay. Yeah, alright.
Yeah. I was pretty frustrated about that. But
I mean, you could armlet toggle a bit and get away with it. I'll tell you like a hack for armlet toggle. I mean, can I show you it right now? I don't know if it's like a bind or something, but it's done completely inside Dota. It's very easy to do. But I'm not exactly sure with. I'll have to turn off the replay at 12:28. So I do it on. I used to do it on Husker when I used to play mid. Husker is like. There's like 2 types of keys in your inventory. One is like a quick cast and one is like normal cast, right?
Right.
So I have this on space, the normal cast, and then quick cast I have it on X, right? So when I press space plus X together, it double taps it. So if right now I have like space only, then I'll press them both together. It auto toggles for me. You see this? And normally you would do this, right? But with this, you just do this. So it's like pretty kind of broken, I would say, especially on Armlet Heroes. I'm not exactly sure I feel like this should be legal because it's inside Dota.
Yeah.
So some player told me how to do this, so I just wanted to basically let you know how to do it because it's good if you're gonna play our Lifestealer.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to the replay, 12:28. I saw that clip where Quilfa was trying to gank Arteezy on Lifestealer, and basically Lifestealer, like Arteezy was just like chasing him until here from this point, and then they all TP'd, and he was just like toggling so much they gave up trying to kill him. So this hero is like you can just like try to do a lot with the armlet toggle, like here, hitting right, and then you could toggle at this point and then get over.
On me though, isn't it?
I think if you do it super quick, it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. Like you could live.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because you have base region as well.
Yeah.
That might negate some of it. Okay, you're TPing top, which is fine. He's just gonna fucking TP out.
Yeah.
That's like the thing about Lifestealer. Good thing about Lifestealer is that you can't be forced out of the lane with this hero. So what you're doing right now is fine. And back here. Okay. Killing. Thing is fine so far.
I told this guy to not go in and he just did.
I mean, at this point, you guys could fight. You should just get out.
Yeah.
You're just like in for too long. Okay. They go on you, you just rage out. They waste a lot of spells. Could go back in when you have rage again, but doesn't really want to wait for it. So you can communicate this that guys, I have rage in 10 seconds. Can we wait? And then we'll play off of that. Because they're under the impression that, oh, we can just fucking go in because Lifestealer's here. But they don't understand that you can't fight without rage.
Yeah.
So you need to communicate that
It's
with the
also
team.
level 1.
Yeah, it's level 1, so it's pretty dog shit as well. They don't take talent, which is fine. Which is good actually. I wouldn't take it either.
Yeah, I just wait and take the damage at 15 and then I go back for the move.
Yeah, that's completely fine. This hero farms fast as well, which is nice. So you have like decent farm. It's just that you need to start looking for fights.
Yeah.
As in the one thing that I've noticed about the CK's Lifestealer Inspectors, they excel by fighting. So you need to be like, you don't have to be completely, what do you say?
This was a huge fuck up. Oh.
Okay, did you know he had Orchid beforehand?
No, I didn't know. Well, I mean, I didn't know. I don't know if he showed it.
Showed it. Okay, so he's showing it like at 16.
Yeah.
So you die at 18, which is definitely a fuck up from your end. Yeah. That's it's like ideally this hero does not die without silences or direct stuns. So if you're dying, it's because of either those two, and then you have to look for like in the enemy, like NP and the Storm both buy Orchid, right? So you need to be a bit careful about that, and then play around that.
That's really bad.
And then they kill you. I was just gonna say that you should play a bit more aggressively in lanes, but if they have Orchid, then you can't.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like alone he can't kill you, but with heroes he can.
Yeah, 100%.
So you can play around that as well. Which is that, oh, I'll play a bit aggressively if Storm is alone, but then they have NP, so I don't think it works if you play lanes, if he has Orchid. So you just have to be completely hidden in lane when he's not showing. Like right now you're gonna die again, in my opinion. Like you don't see Storm anywhere, so you're insane infest. Fine. Then, okay, he gets out. Now you go back to farm.
The fights are really hard because we'd have one stun and it's Pudge ult.
Yeah. At some point you need a basher as well because of that, and then toggle. Yeah. So you go in here and still the fact that you can't show until you have Manta. Then you die again.
Yeah.
It's like Storm alone is never gonna kill you, but then they have NP, and then if they have multiple heroes, then you just die anyway.
Yeah.
So these two deaths matter a lot in that case.
Yeah.
The first death was kind of like unlucky-ish. I mean, it could be prevented with the armlet toggle, or like if you just go back a bit, right? I'll just show you how you could have avoided it anyway, which is like you died here, right? So notice how I told you that. I just go back here. You forced his ult. Where you forced his ult, right? So here you forced his ult, right? Which means that now I can play a bit aggressive because he doesn't have ult. So if you're pushing this wave in right now, it doesn't come to a point where the wave is here, right? And then they don't kill you here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the other thing is that if Storm is not showing on the map, it's usually fine to not play aggressively in the lane if the enemy lane is not showing, because it's like you're kind of in a dangerous spot. But then again, it's like Storm doesn't have Orchid or anything, and Abaddon doesn't have ult, so I can just like be like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, now coming back. So the first death was avoidable if you push the lane in or if you armlet toggled. Second death was just like understanding the fact that Storm has an Orchid and I cannot be super aggressive. And third point is literally the same. Is that you fed to his Orchid twice. It should not be it. So these type of games, you want to just think about, okay, so I'm in a situation where I cannot afford to fuck up.
Yeah.
Which means that I can't die. I just need to understand that how does my hero not die. So you have like a free BKB on this hero kind of, so you want to think about, okay, so what stops me from not using this BKB, or what kills me through this BKB, right? So when you look at their heroes, they don't have enough damage to kill you through this in the early game, because they don't really have any form of high physical damage apart from PA. PA is not going to kill you before she has Deso, and especially if you have a Radiance, right? So I just need to think about, okay, what stops me from using this, right? So stuns I can't react to, or silences, or hexes, stuff like that. So I'm just going to think about, okay, what kind of silences that they have in their lineup, and then I'll just like play around it. And if I'm constantly dodging them and farming, then if you avoid these two deaths, right, then that just means that you have your Manta right now. Realistically, that is what that means. And if you have your Manta right now, then you're able to fight them. Like you can just like go in and be very aggressive because you have levels in your rage. Like your level would be higher as well. You'd be like 16 probably. And then you would have your damage talent, and then you could fight them, and then you would have Manta as well. And then you could snowball this game by taking Roche and then just like controlling this area. So while these deaths seem small, but in these type of games, you can't get away with just dying.
Yeah.
It's like I had a similar game today where I was playing Luna, right? So Luna, you could say, is kind of a similar tempo type of hero as Lifestealer is, right? You win the lane and then you play off of it. So I won my lane, but my mid lane, my tower was dead at 6 minutes. My mid lane was like Meepo versus Necro. My bottom lane, there was like no net. You could say that the first network was me, and then the next three were their cores, which were like really high.
Yeah.
But all I did was await fights that I can take, played to my timing. And then I joined fights where I feel like I wouldn't be the center of attention, and I got killed some of it. So at the end of the game, I had 0 deaths. I had 15 kills, and I just like snowballed the game from this point where I had like at 20 minutes, I had Madness, Dragonlance, Manta, and BKB, right? After that point, I'm just like really strong, and I can just keep fighting with the team. So your timing is also like Manta plus max out rage, which is where you can farm. Which is where you can start fighting. And then after that, you just want to look at, okay, do I get a Silver Edge, MKB, or a Basher? I would personally buy, depending on how PA is playing, right? So I see PA, she has a BKB. She's not that big of a problem, but realistically, if I have an MKB, it's better. Like, I could buy a Basher, but then the problem is, if we have nothing for the PA, it's just GG anyway, so. Like, we have Pugna and Necro, but that just depends how they're playing the game. Okay, so right now, this is very crucial to look at. Let me see your player perspective a bit. Okay, you're gonna farm here. Team is fighting top. Your fight has started, and you're not looking at it at all. You're looking, but your heroes are dying, and then PA BKB is gone. You don't see. It's like you should definitely TP here and join the fight. It's like I know you're like a bit aware of what do you call it, storm? Probably you're worried about the storm, but think about it like this, right?
Yeah.
The 2 times you died to storm.
I don't have my Manta still, so I'm like, I really don't want to go.
Yeah.
Die again.
Yeah, completely understood. But think about how the 2 times you died to Orchid. How was the fight like? Who was the first person that they went on?
Me. Yeah.
You, right?
He's used it already.
So it's not about him using it. He was not even in that fight, right? The thing is, when you're not the one who has started the fight's very chaotic, and the enemy team is probably not even focusing on you. It's like, okay, I'm farming here, right? Then there's a fight going on here. Okay, Pudge is the one they just started on. They're using everything on Pudge. And then a lot of my team is fighting. So this Pugna is just like fucking this PA up. And now if, realistically, even if the Storm Orchids you, you will not die. Why? Because they've used all of their shit. And you will probably go in with Rage first, right? So you should like think about it like this. Like, okay, I'm not the center of attention anymore. If I TP in, I can just like probably kill these guys. And you know the biggest part is that if you guys win this fight here, like if you just join this fight, then your Pugna would live, your Necro would live, and then you would kill them all. And wait, did you have Aegis? Or what? Never mind, he just died. Okay. So then you get Aegis right after. So it's like a big fight in terms of that. So think about what kills you, and then it's like, okay, one thing is that he's already used it, but then we decided, like we already know that he can't solo kill us with this. He can kill us with the Furion, but the Furion is already showing. All of their cards are already on the table. And now I just want to TP and go in and clean shit up. But now if I TP, I could die very easily. If I TP right now, it's just like GG. I don't know if they saw you TP, but it seems like this guy doesn't have mana, so he's just like, fuck it, I'm not just gonna go. And now since you TP'd here, you just like kind of reef yourself as well. Because now you can't push out mid or bottom. So this is like a big mistake when it comes to that part.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, now they're smoking, but you have Manta, so you're chilling. Fight going on at mid. Okay. You're controlling top side now because they are Roche to stop, which is good. And now you're going for a Basher. I guess it depends, honestly. It's like Basher is good, but it's also bad because we don't have anything for PA then. And PA is probably going to be the one who's going to fucking carry this game later on.
Yeah.
And okay, they're going in. They went on Pudge. I just want to go kill this NP real quick. Boom. He's dead. Okay, now I'm just going to go kill this Warlock. You see, now I'm just going to try to fight the PA, but problem is I don't have an MKB, right? Around this time, you should have an MKB, right? If you don't have those 3 deaths, you probably have your MKB.
Yeah.
So item timings is just being affected a lot by this shit. And now
I got my Radiance so fast and I died like 3 times in a row.
You see, like, he would be dead here. And then the fight's very different.
Yeah.
So in terms of like big decisions, this is a big decision. It's like, oh, how do I just avoid dying? It's like if my team is having a really dog game, I need to make sure that if I'm having a good game, I don't fuck it up. Which means that I'm going to try to join fights and which I feel like I won't die in so that I can help my teammates have a better game. And the second thing is that if I feel like I can die, I just don't want to join these fights and just like build towards my timing that just helps me not die. So in my case, Luna BKB is what I needed to not be able to die. And in your case, you need a Manta to not be able to die. It's not like the enemy's playing really good. It's just that you're just like giving them freebies is what's happening. It's like if they were good, they would have taken Roche like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, 100%.
And now it's like after you fought that PO, you should have an idea that, yeah, now I need a fucking MKB. It's like no way I can do anything with this. And I want to try to hold my rage a bit. You know, you're just using rage real quick.
Yeah.
It's like they don't have much shit, right? And I can hold it. As in like Orchid is a problem, but I have a Manta, and then after that it's just like mainly, okay, if I'm about to get silenced, if I'm trying to hit this guy, then yeah, sure. Or if I'm slowed by this guy, then sure, I'll use it. But generally, the way you use rage matters a lot because you just get kited and then you die after. Yeah. At this point, it's just like a case of item timings. Now they have like a big lead.
Yeah.
Like you have barely 550 GPM, right? This Abaddon has 3k more gold than you. PA has less, but then again, PA is a hero against which you need an MKB. So in case that if the network is equal and you don't have MKB, you're just like kind of behind there in a sense. And Storm is like a mid laner.
Low GPM game from Watson. That's pretty surprising.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, like if you want to sum it up, they're the biggest things, right? So like the big things that I feel like that you need to definitely change, and I think you should write this down, which is I think very important in terms of like a coaching overview over how do you win fucking unwinnable games, right? This usually feels like, yo, this is like hard to win because my team is dog shit. So how do I win this? So first thing is that In order to win these games, it's very applicable that you have to win your lane. Otherwise, it just becomes a stomp. So in order to win your lane, you need to be very mindful of two things. You need to have a road plan for your lane. It's like, okay, first 3 minutes of the game, I'll try to push the lane in and get the Lotus, right? Lotus is like my biggest priority in the lane. And after that, from 3 to 5 minutes, I need to bring the lane back as much as I can. Like in this case, this Abaddon who is really fat, he was getting free farm. Why? Because the lane was super far pushed into him.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do anything to bring the lane back. So I need to change that. And I know you know how to do it. You know how to do it. You're just not doing it because I don't know if you're lazy or anything. But it happens to me as well. But if you want to be the best of the best, or if you want to get good, you need to just like do every minor detail. Like you need to be very efficient with whatever you do. So that is like second thing in the lane, that if the wave is constantly here, I can just bully this guy, maybe even kill him a couple times. I feel like you guys would definitely kill him a couple times. Yeah. Because it's like, there's like so much slow and then he just dies. And then 5 to 6 minutes, I'm going to start pushing the lane in again and get the Lotus again. Because of these two things, my lane would be a bit better. And then Abaddon would have a bit worse lane, which changes a lot of things. Like maybe you don't even die the first time, right? So after that, the biggest mistake in the lane was that, okay, I have an advantage in the lane. I know that the enemy doesn't have any catch for me in terms of like using my rage and just like TPing out, just like running away. They don't have anything. I need to abuse that. It's like, okay, I won't play in front of the Abaddon because he has ult. But if he doesn't have it, I need to go in the lane and bully him a bit. It's not, I'm not asking him to be here. If the wave is here and he doesn't have ult, you need to definitely push it in. Because then he feels a bit nervous laning you, right? So that if the lane is pushed into the enemy, the mid laner cannot gank you. Just remember this, if the mid laner is like showing on the map, you need to push the lane in so that they can never gank you. That's like the biggest detail that you can change about your game. And then the first death never happens because of that, right? And Armlet Trick is like another thing. So if the first death didn't happen, then your timing would be a bit better. Okay, the second death was that, okay, I need to be very mindful of what are the strengths of my hero, right? If my team is having a bad game, I need to make sure that I'm not making any mistakes. If I make even a minor mistake, I could lose the game. If I want to win these games, I need to make as less mistakes that I can. So in this case, okay, I need to understand that how can I not die? Not dying is the biggest thing you can do if you're keeping up with your farm. So how can I not die? Like, what are the strengths of my hero, right? So think about, okay, my hero has a free BKB, right? My hero has a free BKB. So in terms of having a free BKB, I just need to understand that what stops me from using it or what doesn't care about me having that, right? So think about stuff that goes through your rage or just doesn't allow you to use rage. Which is that, okay, do they have anything that pierces BKB, right? That pierces debuff immunity. Do they have a Roar? Do they have a Bane? Stuff like that. Do they have a Spirit Breaker? If yes, then I need to build towards that and just be mindful of that. It's like I don't have any way to play around it because I need my Radiance. So for me to buy a Lincoln is going to take a lot of time, right? So until then, I just need to be aware of these heroes. Like, okay, this hero is a problem. I won't show on the map until he shows on the map, and I'll play accordingly, right? If it's like, okay, they don't have any way to stop me inherently, they just want to buy items that do that, so I'm just going to look at their lineup and see who can buy an item that can just like fuck me up. Like a Hex or a Root are the biggest things, because not a Root, a Silence, because you don't care about Roots. So in this case, it's like, okay, I just want to see who buys an Orchid in their team or who buys a Hex in their team. So you see two heroes, which is like NP and Storm, right? These heroes like to buy Orchid. It's their standard build. So like, okay, I'll just like keep tabs on these two heroes. The rest of the heroes I don't give a fuck about. And generally, you need to keep tabs on heroes that can just like catch you. So in this case, they only have Storm. You need to constantly be aware of the fact that, oh, enemy mid laner is missing. He's the one that can rotate, and the game will go better. Like I had a coaching session myself, right? And this is the one thing that I changed a lot, is that I'm constantly aware of the enemy mid laner a lot. It's like the enemy mid laner has one job in the game. It's to ruin the carry's game. That's what he's going to be focused on. So you just have to be constantly thinking about, okay, what does their mid laner have? How does he kill me? Is he missing from the map? Can he kill me? Stuff like that. And then if he's like missing from the map, you also hide. Stuff like that. And then it's like the second that never happens, because you would know he has an Orchid, right? And then you will get to your Manta around, what, 20 minutes rather than 22, 23 minutes. And then because of that, your MKB timing would be quicker, and then the game would be much, much better, right? Yeah. So these things matter a lot. And then generally speaking, that if your team is having a hard time, and like ideally you would just be focused on farming, so you won't be the first guy they go on in fights. Like this was an example, right? If you're not the first guy they're going on, you get to choose your whatever you want to do. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm not the guy they're gonna go on first. My team is just tanking for me, so I can just go in and choose my targets and fight with my team. So then you need to join your team and fight with them, given that you have an armlet, right? Or you have armlet radiance, and you can actually just like go and fight with them. And then if you fight like that, your games will really improve. You know, like these things that we're talking about, these are like very good concepts to learn, honestly. And I think this was like a great replay to learn that from. And yeah, I feel like these are the biggest things that you could change. And if you want to take it slow, you could take it slow. You can start with the lane. And then when you feel like, yo, I'm doing the lane things correctly, I'm not dying like that, then I'll move on to understanding that how does my hero die and all that stuff. Honestly, like if you understand how your hero dies at the start of the game, your lane will be much, much better anyway. True. It's like, if you understood the fact that what stops me from using my range and what doesn't, right? Then you would be much, much more confident in the lane playing a bit aggressive ahead rather than just being here, right? So that also changes a lot of things. It's like quite similar to playing Faceless Void. It's like, oh, if I'm allowed to just press my Q, I don't give a fuck about anyone in the game, honestly. If I have maxed out Q and no one can stop me from doing it, I don't really care. So, yeah. That is what I think should be changed in your game. And these are the points.
This is a coaching session I did with a student who recently gained hundreds of MMR after this session. If you're interested in coaching or group classes at a fraction of the price, please check the links below. If you like my content, please swing by my Twitch stream as I grind past 8k MMR.